Hey YouTube, I'm going to talk about now the third topic surrounding Bruce Lee, which was Bruce Lee's untimely, strange, bizarre, unconclusive death. And I'm going to take a while with this topic, mostly because it's still fiercely debated everywhere on the internet, everywhere in the world up until this day, and it hasn't really reached a conclusion. So I'm going to briefly outline the theories. First of all, to begin with, there's three main theories. The first theory is, of course, the most popular one because Bruce Lee was a fighter, number one. And many people believe that if you're a fighter and you fight a lot of people, you're gonna die in a fight too. They believe that you make a million enemies from beating a million people. One day you're gonna die. Just you can't win forever. You're gonna die one day. And so people think that Bruce Lee died by some sort of physical struggle. Some people also believe that it was mysterious foul play. They think no one could have killed Bruce Lee in a fair fight, so it was some kind of foul play. Someone shot him, someone stabbed him in the back while walking to the convenience store to buy some milk. So people think so. Now the question is who? Based on those theories, who would have done it if that was the case? So you have the Chinese mafia, you have the Japanese mafia, and you have some people in high positions in America. Those are some of the theories. Why would it be someone from his own country? That's what they say. Well, one of the reasons might be because they didn't like the fact that Bruce Lee was teaching the Americans martial arts from China. The Americans already had bigger bodies, so they didn't want them to become even more formidable by learning Chinese martial arts. So they didn't like that. And actually, Bruce Lee, a lot of Chinese gangsters sent people to rough up Bruce Lee, maybe even try and kill him because of the fact that he was doing this. But of course, Bruce Lee won, standard procedure. Japanese people, why would it be them? Now, here's the question. A lot of Chinese people believe that it was the Japanese or the Japanese Yakuza because they also have a strong belief in China up until today that a certain martial artist called Hui Yonjia, a really famous historical martial artist in China, they believe that he was killed by the Japanese through foul play. And he was a martial artist that lived in a time where China was oppressed by Japan and a lot of other countries, including England and America. That China was fiercely oppressed at the time. And he was a man who defeated people from all of these countries, like they were nothing. And one day he just died. And it's actually scary because in Bruce Lee's movie Fist of Fury, where he's playing the student getting revenge for Hu Yunjia's death, it's about this story. Bruce Lee says in the English dub, "How can a healthy man just die?" And that is the question that people ask about Bruce Lee's death. So that is very interesting, isn't it? You see? So people believe that, oh yeah, here it is. It's the Japanese doing what the Japanese do. Yeah, it's them again. We never got conclusive evidence for how Hu Yunjia died, but we all know it was the Japanese, so it's just them again. That's what a lot of the Chinese people think. I don't think so, in any case. A lot of people think that it might have been someone in America from a high position because when someone has a lot of influence and power, as Bruce Lee did, as Martin Luther King did, as Gandhi, these kind of guys did, although Bruce Lee wasn't exactly religious, like Tupac did, when they have a lot of influence and a lot of power over people's thinking and lives and actions, just by being themselves, just through their art. So Tupac, through his lyrics, made people think, made people follow him, made people love him. Bruce Lee did that through his art. So people in high positions, when people from low or ordinary surroundings rise up through their ranks, through their art, and people love them and get influenced by them like that, they feel like their power is going down, so they don't like that. So people think it was foul play from there. But then again, the physical autopsy reveals that there was no gunshot wounds, there was no bullets, there was no knife marks or stab wounds on Bruce Lee's body. So then a lot of people started believing, okay, maybe not. But then some people say, oh no, here's the explanation to that. It was some kind of martial artist from in the Shaolin Mountains where he did this touch of death technique that leaves no trace on the body, and basically Bruce Lee died like that. You saw something like that in Kill Bill, right? Okay. In any case, some people thought something like that existed, and that's how Bruce Lee died. But if that was the case, then the autopsy would have revealed some kind of skin prints on Bruce Lee's body or his clothes, and that wasn't the case. So obviously Bruce Lee didn't die that way, in my opinion. The second opinion is Bruce Lee died from a supernatural being. And a lot of people think, oh, that's a load of tosh. That's something that was just shown in Bruce Lee's biopic movies like dragging the Bruce Lee story for production values or special effects, just to dramatize the events in Bruce Lee's life. But, Bruce Lee himself testifies that he had dreams in which he woke up physically and mentally exhausted. He woke up sweating like a pig, and with cramps everywhere in his body. He woke up believing that he woke up believing he was in a fight still. He threw off his blanket, threw it across the room, threw around books and tables to see where this thing was. He was genuinely scared. He was fearing for his life that this thing would come and attack him again. And perhaps that was the first time in Bruce Lee's life where he really felt the piercing pain of being in fear. Because Bruce Lee didn't feel that too often, as we all know, you know. So maybe it looks like I'm supporting this argument, but not necessarily. Even though Bruce Lee did testify to having these dreams himself, his family. Here's another interesting fact: his family gave him a girl's name. They gave him a girl's name, Sai Fung, and they dressed him up in girls' clothes because they believed in this curse that was affecting the males in Bruce Lee's blood lineage. Because Bruce Lee's older brother, shortly after he was born, died. He just died. He just died like that. So then they thought, oh my god, it's definitely something supernatural here. So they gave Bruce Lee a girl's name, Sai Fung, and they dressed him in girls' clothes, and Bruce Lee survived. But they felt like the ghost, once Bruce Lee made it big, the ghost came back to take Bruce Lee's life. That's what they feel. So there's a big, how do you say? A lot of people still believe in that. Although I'm a very spiritual guy myself, I believe in the spirit world, despite that I'm quite a grounded guy, but I'm also very religious and spiritual. Despite that fact, it's not an opinion that I sway in the direction of. Actually, I go by the third opinion, which is becoming more and more common, and I don't believe this to be opinion. I believe this to be fact. Bruce Lee died taking a pill called Equagesic, and basically what that did was it caused a medical condition in his brain called cerebral edema, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he was in the apartment with Betty Ting Pei. It was some kind of movie meeting, as you would call it, between friends. And Betty Ting Pei was a woman who was very well known for making a hell of a lot of sex scenes. Yeah, so I mean. Yeah, you just make up your own conclusions with that. No, I'm not saying Bruce Lee did anything, but he was in that apartment and basically he started getting one really bad headache, and Betty Ting Pei gave him a headache pill, and Bruce Lee, yeah, that headache pill didn't exactly help. Bruce Lee wasn't getting healed by that headache pill. He went straight into a coma. His brain started swelling up. He went into a coma, fell back on his bed. So Betty Ting Pei started slapping him in the face and saying, "Wake up, Bruce! Wake up, Bruce! What's wrong with you?" She shook him. She slapped him in the face. She tried everything. But what she should have done was pick up the phone and call a damn ambulance. But that's not what she did, because she didn't want the ambulance to go. Wait, what's that? Is that Betty Ting Pei's apartment? Oh, hang on a second. What's Bruce Lee doing in Betty Ting Pei's apartment? What did you say? He's lying on the bed. He's got a headache. And then it'll be all over the news that they're having an affair. And she didn't want that now, did she? So she thought, okay, it's Bruce, man. You should shoot this guy in the head. He'll get up and he'll start screaming, "Ah!" And he'll be back to Bruce. That's what Betty Ting Pei really thought. That wasn't the case. So she waited 1 hour until she realized, okay, Bruce Lee's life is in danger. The conclusion, she should have, that penny should have dropped 15 minutes after Bruce Lee stopped moving. And Bruce Lee was taken to the hospital. Unfortunately, a journey that would have taken 25 minutes by car took 1 hour and a half by traffic, because of the traffic being so ridiculously jam-packed. So on arrival to the hospital, the doctor said that Bruce Lee, that he died on arrival. And then his family was there and was like, oh god, Raymond Chow was there, Betty Ting Pei was there. And the doctor said it's a miracle that Bruce Lee survived this long. He survived this long because Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee, is what they said. And the official diagnosis later on was cerebral edema caused by a pill called Equagesic. And that's what the physical autopsies reveal, and that's what I believe to be fact. Of course, maybe nowadays people always, they always make theories and they say, okay, that may be true, but how do you know that wasn't set up by someone? How the hell can an ordinary hospital tablet, you use to cure tablets, how the hell can that, just have a chemical reaction in someone's brain? Well, people explain that as Bruce Lee's body wasn't like anyone else's body. His chemistry was entirely different because this guy's body was not like our bodies. He trained every single day. His body was under completely different amount of stress. These things were possible with Bruce Lee. and people think that there was still foul play involved. Now, personally, I think that there is a possibility of that. Just so you know, I'm not completely leaning over onto the side of the third theory. I do believe that it is possible that there was some kind of foul play involved. They believe that in that generation it wasn't as medically advanced as we were today, so perhaps somebody might have put something in the pills, and because they knew Betty Ting Pei was close to Bruce Lee. There are these kind of theories. Maybe they'll come out later. Maybe we'll understand more about who might have done it and how they did it. But until that happens, this is the best thing we have. So I would like to just conclude that. And for those of you who wonder how Bruce Lee died, that's the most conclusive evidence that is revealed by the biographies and those who know.